This is the Wellness Club, where we dive into all things wellness, from nutrition to fitness to productivity and more. We are exploring the science to help you feel your best inside and out. I'm your host, Cass Camp, and I am so happy that you're here. Welcome to the club. Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Cass. Thank you so much for listening. If you let it, the winter blues will ruin your life, but we're not going to let it, because today I have the winter blues survival guide. These are the things that I need to do, you need to do, we all need to do to stay sane and survive the winter. Because even though it's February now, the winter is not going anywhere. And I'm ready for the spring, but the spring is still a little bit away. So we need to do what we can to make it through this last stretch of the winter. If you haven't been keeping up with our wildlife, the groundhog saw his shadow last week on Groundhog's Day, which means we have 6 more weeks of winter. And a little side note, I did not know that they take the groundhog from his habitat every single year, the same groundhog. Like, I would give you guys the winter too. That's ridiculous. But anyway, that's a whole nother tangent. Long story short, whether you believe in it or not, the winter is here and the winter is here to stay, especially in New Jersey. We have been having so much snow, ice, just cold, and I am so ready for the warm weather, but just because I'm ready doesn't mean that it's just going to happen. So here are some things that I'm going to do that I think we all can do to survive the winter blues. We're talking physical health, social health, emotional health, beauty routines, everything to survive the winter blues. First of all, let's just address it right off the bat. The winter is not fun if you don't do certain things to make it fun. The winter can very easily be the worst time of your life because it's dark out, the sun sets early, it's cold, it's gray, there's not a lot going on, you're not getting vitamin D, you have lower energy, you're less active, you're pale. Like, there are so many things. You're broke from Christmas still, you don't get a lot of holidays off. Like, I could go on and on and on, but it doesn't have to be miserable. If you're intentional about how you spend your time in the winter, it doesn't have to be so miserable, but you do have to be aware that this is a different season in our lives, both figuratively and actually. It's a different season. Obviously, we have winter, summer, whatever. You get the point, but it is just a different time. Your pace of life is different. Your hobbies are different. Everything is different. And for a lot of my life, I feel like I let this just kind of slap me in the face every single year, and I would be confused why I hate the winter every single year. But lately, I've been kind of proactive about it, and I've realized that there are certain things in my routine that make a distinct difference in my mood, in my energy, how I feel every single day. And it would be ridiculous not to be proactive about that and, make sure that I am putting these things into my schedule and into my routine. So the first thing on our winter blues survival guide is being proactive with making social relationships and social hangouts. I am an introvert through and through. And the older that I get, I think the more introverted that I become. I just really love spending time by myself. Or maybe I've always been introverted, but I'm starting to realize it now that I'm older, because growing up, I've always been outgoing. It's not like I was a quiet, shy kid by myself. But whenever I had time to just hang out, I like to hang out alone. I like to hang out by myself and do things by myself, and it really makes me feel fulfilled. And I think, especially in the relationship that I'm in now with my boyfriend, he is the complete opposite. He is like a full-on extrovert. When he is around other people, he is the most himself, the most outgoing, the most fulfilled. And on his weekends, he wants to spend all his time hanging out with other people. That is the complete opposite of me. I would so much rather spend time by myself at home and just chill. There's nothing wrong with either side, but knowing that about yourself is really important, because introverted or not, you do need to spend time with other social human beings. You can't just spend weeks and weeks and weeks alone. Isolation is literally considered a torture technique. Even an introvert would hate to be in solitary confinement, because as human beings, we need to socialize. Even if you are more introverted, it doesn't matter. And something I know that happens to me is in the winter, I find myself even more isolated and even more just by myself. As an introvert, it might take more time for me to start to see the effects compared to someone that is used to seeing people all the time. But the effects still come in at some point. I might spend one weekend alone, but by next weekend, I want to see at least somebody. I want to at least get coffee or go to the gym with somebody or socialize in some way. In the winter, it's very easy for me to just not do that. And it does have a negative impact on my mental health, my emotional health, everything like that. So one of the biggest things on the survival guide is make time with your friends. Schedule out time to see your friends. And it doesn't always have to be like such a long, drawn out drinks all night, dinner all night, hang out all night. It doesn't have to be super long. You could go for a 30-minute walk. You could go to the gym. You could get coffee quickly. It doesn't have to be a huge thing, but you do need to interact with other people. And I would even go as far to say that the people that you live with don't count, especially if you live with a partner. Your partner is a different relationship than your friendships. And it's really important not to just neglect your friendships because you're tired and you don't feel like it. And I know that that's something that happens in the winter is you're just tired. You don't feel like it. You don't feel like doing as much. You don't feel like getting ready as much. You don't feel as confident. I get it, especially as an introvert. I totally get it. But we all need to socialize. We all need to see, especially our friends, our family, and spend quality time with them. Lately, the things that I've been doing with my friends have been completely different than what we were doing before. Like, for example, last night, I went bowling with my friends. We got a group together. We went to a bowling alley. I haven't been to that bowling alley since I was in maybe high school, maybe even middle school, when that was the only place your parents would drop you off at. It was so much fun. And we went a couple weeks ago too to another place. And it's just so much fun. I am horrible at bowling, but it's something different to do. It gets you moving, gets you laughing. Even if you're horrible, it's funny. And activities like that are so much fun. They're way better than just going to a bar, especially in the winter. Like, no one's really going out to the bars, at least where I live. No one's going out like that. So you might as well find activities to go do. Something else I've been doing with my friends has been working out together, which is a great habit, great hobby to have, where we just meet up at the gym, we do a workout together, and then we leave. And it's a quick hour thing. You feel better. You work out harder because someone else is there with you. You learn new things. You watch each other's form. Like, it's just so much fun, and it's a great healthy habit to have. And then all week we feel proud of ourselves, we text about it, and we just keep each other accountable. Another fun activity that I went to recently was a book club exchange. So it was different than a traditional book club where you read the same book and talk about it. Honestly, to me, that's a little bit overwhelming right now because I don't want to feel like I need to read at a certain pace to keep up with everybody. So this event was a little bit different than that. It was completely different than that. Instead of everyone reading the same book, people just showed up. It was all women. So all these women showed up and you bring books that you already read and then you trade or exchange when you're there and get someone else's book that they already read. And it was really good and really cool because everyone brought these really good books. Like I was kind of expecting people to bring just like random books that they don't necessarily like or read, but people brought all the famous TikTok books and like Kristen Hanna books. That's what I got because she's my favorite. But all the Colleen Hoover books were there. The Court of whatever books, Akatar, those were there. Like all these really great books that people would actually want were there. Then you get to talk to new people. And that was really cool. Like if you're in an area that doesn't have something like this, first check Facebook because that's where I found out about it. It was a Facebook event. And then I was scrolling and there were so many other Facebook events in my area. But if this doesn't exist, you should definitely do this in your area because it was so easy. It's free. And it was just a really fun time, something different to go do, get out of the house. Really, any social event that you can go to and get involved in during the winter, I promise is going to make you feel better. And even though you don't feel like it, you don't feel like getting ready, you don't feel like going out, you don't feel like doing anything in the winter, as soon as you push yourself to go, you're going to feel alive again and you're going to feel excited, even if you are more introverted or not necessarily someone that likes to go out and do a bunch of things. The next thing on the Winter Blues Survival Guide is the beauty routines. Now, we need to talk about this because my skin is about as dry as the Sahara Desert, literally everywhere. I am so dry everywhere. my hair has been staticking like no tomorrow because the air is just so dry where we are right now. And because of this, I was kind of forced to just figure out some new routines for myself because the summer routine is definitely different than the winter routine. And before all of this, I honestly didn't have a winter routine. I don't know if it's because the winter is just much worse this year or what, but I never had this problem in terms of dry skin the way that I'm having it this year. So for the winter beauty routine, you got to figure out a beauty routine that works for you. I'm going to tread lightly here because every single person is different with their skin, their hair, the texture, everything like that. But I would encourage you to experiment with some new products, some new routines in the beauty area because you will feel better. I had to do that for myself. And honestly, I am not the beauty guru. I'm into it. Like I like it, but I don't know a lot of stuff when it comes to skin health. And one of my friends, she's an esthetician and I want to have her on the podcast to talk about it because I don't know a lot of stuff. Like I don't know about retinol. I don't know about vitamin C. I've heard about all those things, but I don't use them. Like I don't know enough about it, but I have been getting more into it this winter, especially because my skin has left me no choice. I've had to figure it out. And honestly, I've been so into it because not only do the new products I've been trying work, but it's also just this ritual and this routine that makes me feel really good and clean girl aesthetic. Like it's fun to do a self-care night each week. So something I've been doing has been hair masks. I've been seeing a lot of hair masks online, like people do their little hair mask before they wash their hair on the weekend or whatever. And so I bought this hair mask. It's Lucetta brand. I don't know if you guys know anything about it, but it's good for my hair type. And I put it in and oh my gosh, it makes such a difference. It's like this thick conditioner basically that you put on your hair, you leave it on for, 10 minutes or whatever, and then you wash it out. And let me tell you, my hair has never been smoother, silkier, less tangled. I'm even like losing less hair in the shower. And I've been wearing it straight all the time. Like I've been having a blast. And it's because I've been experimenting with some different products. I also bought the hair oil from the same hair line and it works for my hair type. It's amazing. And it's so nice putting it in your hair. I feel like everyone's been into hair oiling for a while and I'm late to the game. But if you're late too, promise, especially during the winter, it is like one of the best things. I look forward to doing it and it actually works and actually shows benefits in my hair. So it's a win-win-win-win-win for me. The benefits of this stuff definitely help, but there's also just something about putting on a hair mask, putting on a face serum, doing those feminine, girly beauty routines that make you just feel a little bit better, especially in the winter when your skin is dry, your hair is dry, you're not super confident, you're not tan, like none of those things. But doing these little things over time do make you feel a little bit better each week. I think in the winter especially, it's easy to neglect the beauty routines because no one's seeing your body. You're wearing big baggy clothes, jackets, coats, scarves. But underneath, you do feel so much better when you take care of the beauty aspect of it. Take the everything showers, put the hair mask in, sleep in the overnight curls, like all those little beauty things. Those are popular for a reason because they do make you feel better. The next thing we need to talk about is the winter fitness. And you guys knew this was coming. I feel like I bring up fitness in every single episode, but that's because this is a wellness podcast and I would be lying if I said fitness wasn't important. So here's the thing about fitness. You need to do it, okay? And you need to do it all year, but especially in the winter, this is the time that you put in the work to be happy this summer. And I say that with the most love in my heart, but I mean that. Every year without fail, as a trainer, I get people coming in May saying they want to get ready for the summer. And that's great. I'm happy for you. You can definitely see results in a couple months, but the results that you're looking for are not going to just happen in a couple months. And I'm even talking results outside of physical physique. Obviously, you want to like how you look, and I think that that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that, and you can get that as well. But the results from fitness are more than just your physical physique. That is a huge part of it for sure. But building that routine, building that consistency, building that discipline, that's not going to just happen in May, June, July. Because yes, you could start a routine in the summer and see some results and feel okay, But if you're not doing the deep work to really make this a part of your lifestyle, you're going to be in the same position next summer and the summer after and the summer after. I personally think sticking to your routine in the summer is so much easier. It's warm out, you're happier, you're seeing your friends more, you're moving more, you're getting more steps, you're wearing shorts, it reminds you want to work out. There's so many factors that make working out easier in the summer. The winter, that's when it's tough. And the people that stick it out in the winter, especially like February, March, April, where no one's really seeing the progress, those are the people that stick to it for life. If you can develop a strong routine this winter, you will be absolutely unstoppable this summer and after this summer, because the people that build those habits and build that discipline now are the ones that stick to it for life. And that's what we want. We want wellness to be for life. Even if it looks different every single year, every single season, that's fine. But those habits, that consistency of showing up for yourself, that's built now in the winter. If you can stick to it now and really build that routine, you will have that for life. But it doesn't just happen by, oh, I want to look good in a bikini, so I'm going to do it for a couple months and then stop. You can absolutely build a strong routine now where 6 months from now in this summer, you will be completely transformed. Your body, your mind, your entire life will be completely different. But it starts now, especially because there's less going on in the winter. You can use this time, use this free time to really dial in on these goals that you've been saying you want to do all year, right? January's over. The New Year's resolutions are over. Now is the time where you need to decide, am I going to show up every single time now so that by summer, I'm already solid in this routine that I want to be living? I'm working on this right now where I am just so solid in my routine. I'm showing up for myself, fitness, nutrition, all the wellness things. I'm showing up. And part of the motivation is I'm thinking about the future. I am thinking about summer me. I am thinking about 6 months from now where I want to be. And I know that that starts right now. But another thing is, there is no better way to solve the winter blues than to get your body moving, okay? And I know that you guys don't really want to hear that sometimes because it is hard and it does take that mental motivation, that mental toughness. But when you get your body moving, you feel so much better all day, physically, mentally. Your head is clear, less anxiety, less stress. You feel so much better. And it lasts. It's not just in the moment. Honestly, in the moment, it still kind of sucks. But after and all day, you feel so good. And it's like, why do we not do these things that we know make us feel good? There's nothing like the confidence you feel after finishing a workout. Even if that workout wasn't perfect, even if you felt a little weaker than normal, even if you didn't hit it as hard as you thought, you still feel confident. You still feel like you accomplished something. You just feel good, and it translates the entire day. There's absolutely nothing like it. And if you told yourself, I'm going to start a fitness routine, maybe in January, and by February now, you're kind of like, where did it go? What have I been doing? Honestly, my biggest advice, get a trainer. When I was personal training full-time at a commercial gym, January, we saw the spike. We saw a lot of people come in, but honestly, our personal training sales spiked up in February because that's when people start to realize that they might need some extra help. They might need some extra support. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Even as a coach, I need a coach to help me. No matter what level you're at fitness-wise, whether you're a complete beginner or you're super advanced, everyone can benefit from having a coach. That's why even bodybuilders, the best bodybuilders, have coaches, because everyone needs someone to look at them, help them, hold them accountable, see things that they might not see for themselves. There are so many benefits to having someone help you. And I said this to one of the girls that I'm training right now when she was first getting started with me and we were doing like her intake session. We talked about longevity of this. And the thing about coaching is, yes, you can see benefits all the time, but me personally as a trainer, my goal is to teach you how to do it yourself. And if you find a coach that has that same mentality, you are going to learn so many tips and tricks specific to your lifestyle that are going to make this so much easier. It doesn't get easy, but it gets easier. right? So a coach is going to be able to help you see your obstacles and provide strategies to fix them. You don't have to commit to getting a trainer for a full year or years or forever. You can totally get a trainer for like 3 months and really see some progress and learn things that you might not have known before and apply them in your life. And that's kind of my goal with my clients. Yes, will they see more benefits and more results long-term sticking with a coach? For sure. But just learning how to do it in your own life, I would say 3 months, you could really get a lot out of that. And if you can't get a trainer financially or whatever, there are so many free resources like this podcast, other podcasts that provide information about the mental side of fitness, actual fitness tips, form correction. There are so many things. Definitely do your research though, because not everyone is created equally in terms of their fitness advice. Make sure they're certified. Make sure they have some experience, some backing. Don't just look at the fitness professional's body and say, okay, they're a good coach, because now we know there's a ton of editing. And even still, you just because someone looks good doesn't mean that they're a good personal trainer. So keep that in mind, but definitely like use the tools and resources that you have at your disposal to help you with this. Fitness is definitely a struggle for a lot of people. If it was easy, everybody would be super fit. And we know that that's not true. It's not easy all of the time, but the basic things that you can do every single day, they're going to completely transform your life. Completely. Mental, physical, everything. And I really believe it starts with some movement, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. I think we expect ourselves to follow this perfect split, like the bodybuilders we see, and that's great. But if you're just getting started, anything you do is going to be better than what you were doing before. Anything you do is going to be better than sitting on the couch scrolling on social media. If you want to take a dance class, a Pilates class, a yoga class, those things are absolutely great, and they're going to be so much better than what you were doing before. Going for a walk, walking on the treadmill, getting a walking pad. Walking is one of the best things that you could do, and it's free. You could do it anywhere, and we're so good at walking, right? Even 10 minutes is going to be better than doing 0 minutes. You don't need to overcomplicate it. I feel like so many people overcomplicate this on social media, and I can't stand watching certain Instagram reels about fitness that are just these really complex ideas. Get movement, get some walking, get some steps in. Use some form of resistance, whether it's your own body weight, whether it's bands, whether it's TRX bands like suspension training, or free weights, dumbbells, machines, whatever you have available to you. That's going to really help give you the best bang for your buck. Drink a lot of water, especially in the winter. Hydrated skin, it starts from within. Oh, that should be a quote. And get really good sleep. And you will be better than like 95% of people if you really do those things and take them seriously. Because here's the thing about movement. Once you do it, once you go to the gym in the morning, or you do that Pilates class, or you do whatever you're doing, the rest of the day you feel better. And then your sleep gets better and everything compounds into each other. And then from there, that's when you can start dialing in on the nutrition. The winter, this time of year, is the best time to cook at home. You're able to make warm, hearty meals from home. You don't have to go anywhere. A lot of crock pots, a lot of soups, a lot of chilies. Perfect for this time of year on a cold day. And it's fun. It's fun to try a new recipe. It's fun to learn. It's a great hobby with your partner or your friends. And it's good for you. And you save money on takeout. Overall, I know that the wintertime can easily be a slump period, a hibernation period. But what you can do now really will set the tone for the entire year. And if you build these routines now, 6 months from now, you are going to be completely different than the person you are right now. And to me, that's really motivating, because 6 months seems like a long time, but it's really not. The time is flying, and the time is going to pass anyway. So you might as well do the things now that are going to really prepare you for the future. You might not see all the benefits right away because things take time. But I promise when you start to see those results, you are going to thank the version of you that's listening to this right now. I promise you that. This is the time where most people give up on their goals. This is the time where people chill, take a back seat, say, I'll do it in the future. But that's not you. That does not have to be you. That does not have to be anybody on this podcast. But it takes doing the work now to see the results later. And guess what? In a few months, if you really stick to this, those same people are going to ask you how you did it. They will. They're going to say, how did you do that? I've been wanting to do that. And you're going to tell them it takes work. Growing, changing, transforming your life is not easy, but it is simple. And you have to do the simple things that no one else wants to do to become that person that no one else is. You have to show up when you don't want to. You have to do things when you don't feel like it. And it's not always going to feel exciting. It's not always going to feel fun, but you will feel better. Like the thing about especially fitness and movement, it's not always fun. It's not always exciting, but you feel so good all day. And that feeling is addicting. Once you get into that routine, that feeling is something that you crave and look for in your life. Even though it's cold right now and the winter seems like it's going to last forever, the version of you 6 months from now is counting on you to do the work now so that in 6 months, you have made all that progress that you've been looking for. I believe in you. I'm counting on you. And that future version of you is counting on you too. So let's finish out the winter strong. No winter blues. We're getting through this. We're building that foundation. That choice is yours. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. And as a reminder, we are hosting the Wellness Club retreat this upcoming July 25th through the 27th. It's a 3-day retreat, Friday to Sunday in the Poconos, PA. If you're interested, I have everything linked down below in the description. Right now, we're having the early bird special where you'll save $100 if you sign up now. So go check it out. It's going to be so much fun, different than any other retreat that you've seen before. Focused on fun, dance workouts, stretching, balance exercises, healthy meals, everything's included. So go check it out. Follow the Instagram at the Wellness Club XO. Give this podcast 5 stars and nothing less, please. And I will talk to you guys next week. Have a great week. Bye.